Welcome, friends. It's me, your buddy Suze, coming to you live on Soulbox, where we discuss matters of the heart. So, I'm going to tell you a little story. We're just going to get started here. Okay, so believe it or not, in the last 2 days, the biggest scam online has been uncovered by little old me. And it has to do with this dopey David Wilcock story and Corey Good and the Secret Space program and all sorts of juicy things. So in the meantime, let's say the finger of God touched Chanter over the last 5 days, and I saw him actually
Welcome at
have an
1017, two of
opportunity
you.
to be healed. And he even actually channeled and told his true form, which is a frog, and that's a long story. He doesn't get to have sex organs either, which is interesting to say the least, right? Alright, so we've got all that going on, and then we realize
One
that
gone at
these
1017.
people are what they call valuable assets as actors that have been involved in a really bad story
Hey,
with a script.
good morning, Mr. Michael. How you doing there?
Burying me so far down.
Always good to have you in the chat.
And that is really retarded, if you ask me. And it's also like actually painful to be targeted and abused and shadow banned and belittled and slandered and humiliated
Well,
and blacklisted.
I'm fine. Whoops. I'm
I mean,
fine.
my life was even threatened, which don't get me wrong, I'm not scared.
It's just tough being me
And we got
sometimes.
stuff
I know
popping
you can
off in the
relate
same
to
place,
that.
and I just keep
It's
logging it
tough
in
for all of
because you know
us.
what? It is. It is what our forefathers told us to do, which is speak out when we see tyranny. And
Right,
even when it gets to
bingo.
government levels, that we have
Yep.
an obligation as true citizens of a place where we live and we're supposed to
Well,
take care
thank
of
you.
things.
I do
So
my best to be
tonight,
entertaining.
Chanter's hit the
Um,
skids,
always
and I've been making
serious.
my comments,
But some people
and
think
then
I'm
putting
really
stuff
funny,
in
and
the
I try
fan
to do
and the
that
live
too.
chat, and I've been taking the screenshots, and you'll find those at Suze B. Pratt on Facebook.
Mm,
And of course, this is the job
thank
of a
you.
spiritual researcher
I'm
and an
glad somebody
investigative
gets me.
citizen journalist, and I represent myself pro se in this court from hell that wants to see me dead and see my friends and family and all the children oppressed. So I will do what I choose to do too. So under the Fair Use Act of 1976, I bring all this into documentation to the courts that are as above, so below now. No longer can we cry foul because it's a court of only man. Oh no, these things have been integrated now. So we're gonna pop in on Ding Dong and check out a few things, but I just kind of wanted to bring it to you real. And I like to show people how to take care of themselves.
See you
Because
later,
when
Michael.
somebody gives you a
Always
hard way to
glad you're
go,
around.
you must defend yourself. We'll get the chat while we're here. Let's see. And this is live right now. It's called Public Apology from David Wilcock regarding Gaia Incorporated disgust. Hashtag Wilcock, hashtag Gaia, hashtag
This is actually from February 1st.
And these guys are treating me like a dog. And Robin Eaglesong is.
Yeah, and even right now, they're hacking inside my YouTube, stopping video streams. It's amazing what technology can do when there's wrong people at the helm. Dear Ed, huh? Right, anything to make an ass out of people.
Don't do that. You know what I mean? This is insanity. This is insanity that they think that this will work. And what's he doing? Dude, he effed up. It's all
Yeah,
over. Everything that seemed to be
yeah,
talked
I'll
about
tell you what, sir, for real. They're hacking inside my YouTube account now. I can put up a show that's my intellectual property, and they can, thank you, and they can uh, take something that's an hour and 48 minutes long and reduce it down to 17 minutes. The vileness of the trolling going on. And some would say I'm a troll because I like to actually catch bad guys, but that does not make me a troll. And I only go after the people that come for me first. This man came for me. Punk ass lawyer coming after a woman. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this goes back to 2015. And he won't stop, but he has mental illness and he's admitted that. And he can't remember what he says. And that's very dangerous when you want to run a religion. And his religion is called Commonwealth Chanting. But he doesn't choose what verses are for you to read. And he's going to combine all the religions. Sound familiar? Sounds like the New World Order. Not the good one. And any last name that ends in cock, which my maiden name is Glascock, so any name ending in cock, supposedly we're controlled by the Jewish elitist. Isn't that something? First, I'm in trouble because I'm not Catholic. Next thing you know, poof, I'm controlled by the Jewish elitist, you know? It's absolutely redunculous. And whenever he leaves, he's off behind the scenes to do his hacking, to do the interference, because they know our frequencies. So when I come into a public live stream event like this, and that frequency registers, then they go after me. And this whole dachshund thing, I think people online should be upright, honest with who they are. I don't think they should have a couple dozen channels where they run their game. There we go. Right, we're talking about the Glascock clan.
So lucky this isn't court. Well, Brandon Young, believe it or not, it is court behind the scenes.
Yep.
So what?
They don't know.
And this is a lie. JD Reckle P asks. Omar says.
Thank you, confirmation of spirit.
You got some pretty lips, boy. Tag it, Omar. You were the second healing that I saw happen. And I really, sincerely wish the best for you guys. And as you know, I can't take it anymore. And then Omar says, Porky Pig. Brandon says, Judge Judy would wreck David Wilcock. Wilcock should be striving for the qualities of Lucifer rather than bashing and bro.
Now, what this comes down to, they have transferred the words Luciferian and satanic. So, of course, my definition of satanic is when there is no respect for life and sacrifices are made, whether it be human, animal, or natural resources. You know, like taking all the oil out of the planet. Yeah, pretty much that's satanic. You know, it is a sacrifice of Mother Earth's blood. So, Luciferian, they worship the earth. And now he's dressed up and doing his dance.
Shadow Zone Productions says that Brandon The only one I've
Yep, they
seen
bumped my
has
friend
voted
off
to
again that
govern
was
her
staying.
courtroom. Her courtroom.
I won't run this one too much longer, because I already know. He let me know. So, make an ass out of yourself. Do your thing, Chanter. This is my intellectual property in my life, you fool.
Chanter is mentally unill.
Oh my god, you think like I do. Do you know how rare that is?
His
Well,
abuse is beyond
I have a feeling that, I do know, but, you know, I can't really say anything more. Yeah, he's very dangerous. And, he wanted to bury me so deep I wouldn't get up. And they play games. And I don't think it's funny to spellcast or to perform rituals. And I know that they can't touch me, don't get me wrong. But it's just so disrespectful. And then, you know, to just carry it on in your daily walk of life because, you know, obviously he doesn't know any better. I've been asking him to stop for 3 years. But where this all fell apart was they figured out that they were working from an actual human's script, mine. And they started it up right when I got online. And of course, I was computer illiterate. So I wouldn't have known anyhow, even if I had computer knowledge. It was so behind the scenes. But along the way, what I've done is connected groups. So they believe that I should not have a diverse base of knowledge. So they make it like I just talk about him. Absolutely untrue. Over 400 videos. My main dedication is being a holistic stylist, natural healing, non-toxic, body care, hair care, and skin care. Talking about first aid and self-care. A lot of things like that. Broke a lot of firsts, and of course, since no one knew me, what better time to grab up my information and plagiarize it? And at the same time, never speak my name. You know, that ineffable name you're not supposed to speak or you'll blow up. Well, they took it to that level. So they put out a hit on me where no one is supposed to talk to me, be my friend, or listen to me. But he can get naked on camera with a bear hat on his daggum head or his daughter's bow. And this man wants to lead a cult, a religious cult. And he's perverted too. And it's just sick. I mean, this is not a real man. And then they tried to say I'm his booty call. You gotta, I mean, are you kidding? Look at this mess. I know, believe me. And I was always in long-term committed relationships with, way more of men than what this impersonates. Right, this is not my kind of guy. And he doesn't like, you know, he doesn't have respect for women. And the thing about me, they might want to make me out to be like a floozy or a whore because I love men. Well, I love people. And I love women. And that doesn't make me a lesbian. I mean, is it that hard to talk about love? And the answer is yes. Anyone who has seen you knows you're way out of his league. Thank you. Yeah, I would not, no, no. And I won't even be in the same room with someone that is this parasitic. I mean, I don't care if we're talking about intimate relationships or not. So basically, they want me to come to them, come to my room and talk to me. And it's like, you gotta be kidding. I mean, I don't bow down like that. And this is pretty intensive. Now, what's going on here? He has a parasite and worm infection. And so he's kind of like Pinocchio. The longer he talks smack, the more the worms come out. And you'll hear it in his nasal cavity. He gets very stuffed up and lots of mucus comes out. His eyes are terribly infected, and I don't say it to make fun. Part of my remote viewing skills, I see things like this, and so it's unfortunate to live in such a modern society where humanity is so clean because we dump in a toilet. But 120 years ago, oh yes, and 120 years ago, for real, they would just simply take the kids outside and look at their butthole to see if they had pinworms. And I don't mean to be offensive to anyone listening to this stream. And so, of course, they were given a teaspoon of castor oil. I have a lot of medical books from physicians that completely show you what parasites and worms look like. So a part of what I do on my channel, too, is bring information about packs and other ways to expunge parasites and worms. So to see them on a person and to see the loss of the hair, whether it's the eyebrows or the mustache, where that infection runs. Yes, all the yes, and see what's going on here. Oh, Trish, it's huge here in America because nobody wants to admit to it, right? What's going on here is one of my many videos documenting the harassment that I receive from a long list of people that hub at a channel called CW Chanter. And he runs a religion called Commonwealth Chanting. Recently, they've been making their legal documents, and what this all comes down to is tax write-offs for businesses that hub out of your home. So say 22% of the house space could be used for Commonwealth chanting. The next thing you know, you're having a Tupperware party and everybody's doing their mantra. But Chanter has been affected by many walks of religion, Catholicism, Judaism. He was in Scientology and was a Hare Krishna for a while. So when he does his chanting, what he says is you pick out a sentence. Yes, tag it, the new Jim Jones. And Trish, why this is important is because when I was inside of that stupid conscious consumer network and Zen Gardner was busted for being the second in command at the Children of God cult. He was the PR guy. And CCN was supporting him, and so was Chanter, because Chanter was inside of CCN too. Very, very weird story. But he would like to, yes, exactly, tag it. And when we go into this thing, I really believe that what this is calling out these principalities and these powers and these forces. And these people are puppeted and possessed. I cannot blame the man. This man has been hurt. And he's had a long life of trauma. But that's no excuse. See, there's a yeast infection on his tongue. And here again, when I go in close, I'm showing things like that to illustrate a point. Something I didn't know about being online was that they're all terrified of this space herpes. So, if you're naughty on the computer, what happens is through the plasma screen and the electrical field, these invisible astral entities attack people. And see right here, to try to connect Edgar Casey with David Wilcock is an offense of spirit. Edgar Casey was the sleeping prophet, and he recommended castor oil packs, and they had different additives in them back in the day. A lot of those things we can't even resource anymore. Our natural resources are too tainted. But I always tell people about castor oil packs because they will heal a person from their kidney stones and whatever. I mean, muscle aches, sprains, serious wounds. You can never go wrong with castor oil. And I've done videos on that. Oh, I'm talking about it.
As a track record
How about that?
trustful, accurate sources. You mean like the anti-Semitic bizarro dude from friggin' what's the channel?
Who?
Go ahead. Oh, forget it.
And see, he can never remember. I share this info also. I have a crippled 30-year-old. Wow, Trish. So your son won't allow you to put a castor oil pack on him, and he won't put it on himself. That's really tough. Have you tried the Bach flower essence with him? There's Rescue Remedy, Star of Bethlehem, and those things, I think if worked, see right there, you can see one popping up. Looks like a zit.
Observe right here.
Vaccine injury. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that, Trish. It's tough. And now that they're using aborted fetuses and vaccines, man, it gets people really upset and talking about the whole subject. They can't believe it. And, inflammation is something that's plaguing the globe. And of course, worms and parasites love inflammation.
Reasoning on this timing issue and teenage bees. You need to know and understand that by David Wilcock's standards, regarding my YouTube channel in 2015, and it's now 2019.
Okay.
You all have college degrees.
I
Now.
started my channel
Right.
a week before you did.
Right. Right.
Off, jack around, be bizarre, sometimes be drunk.
Is what it is. He could be worse. I've willed him to his
before
brother.
And ignorant.
Hey, I'm always asking I'm always asking Jeremiah the bullfrog to speak to him again, because I'll tell you this, it was beautiful for me to be allowed to see him touched by the finger of God. And when I say that, he used to mock channeling. He'd make it up and tease the people that were doing it. And I don't channel myself. But here again, he got touched by an entity named Jeremiah the Bullfrog. And this was a couple weeks ago. And he was given another chance to heal. Another chance. And on that third day, he had what we know as a healing crisis, which is where his morality jumped, did a 180 on him. And it's kind of like shit just started flying out of his mouth, I guess. So, I've been watching his decline again, and he kind of had a breakdown about a week and a half ago because he couldn't get his pain patch. I don't know if that was for his emotional pain or his physical pain. But it was tough, and he kind of freaked out in the CVS.
You just told us the guy was awesome and doing amazing things and that their employees were well paid in your newsletter. You see, so I see what happened. You were coming all big and brave in your resignation letter.
Yeah.
And then when
Yeah.
Majestic failed to
It's
playing
it's
music every
crazy.
day is theirs.
It really
They're
is.
trying to protect
Right.
their bullshit.
Exactly. It's funny, but it's not funny. That's exactly
We
correct.
just match tones here, Chanter. It's an art. As
And
you
you know
know.
what's funny, Trish, is when I came online, they told me that I hadn't known harassment in my life out in the real world until I met this kind of harassment. And running a small salon 30 years, I can tell you that absolutely wasn't true. And I've dealt with people like this throughout my life. You know, that's the problem is either most people are lukewarm because they don't have to worry. They stay out of the line of fire. But there's people that love me that hate me as much as they love me. And I can't be in relationships like that. It doesn't work. It feels creepy. It feels, what do they, I don't even like that word. Codependent. Because we're all interdependent with one another. That's very true. But when you're codependent and you feed off that negativity, um, the best thing to get inflammation out of the body, Tanya, would be ferrum phosphate in the cell salt homeopathy. So you would go to the health food store. You can also look online, Luyties, and they taste like candy cigarettes. They're little white dissolvables that melt under your tongue. Ferrum phos, common name is iron phosphate. That's what it would be on the element chart. It is an and an oxygen enhancer. It will help you to breathe. It is the biochemic first aid. And anytime anybody has pneumonia, they need to take Fair Phos. So that would be the answer. And it's not medication, it's not medicine. It is cellular nutrition for your body. So you don't have to worry about overdosing. If someone is really inflamed, they need to start with a mega dose, which would be 4 of those small capsules under the tongue every 15 minutes for the first 2 hours. Like if you had a baby with 105 fever, that would be the course of treatment. And my son, who's now 19, when he was a couple years old, he was running 104 fever. And that was the first time I used homeopathy in a live or die situation. You know, just compared to a small minor ailment or affliction. Really works. $8.95 for 500 of these little white meltables. And I really appreciate it when people want to discuss homeopathy, castor oil, self-care, because that's really more my interest. My interest is not busting this man's chops. I'm doing it to log in witness, evidence. I mean, whether I ever go to court or not, I have my paperwork, my facts, figures, and statistics. I can prove everything that I have said online. And I do it to the best of my ability. You know, they always say that a truth is no more than a half truth, depending on the level of perception at that time. So we learn more. We reduce things that no longer serve our purpose. When we find out something isn't true, we release it with love. We don't hold on to it. Ah, wonderful. Honey, turmeric, and black pepper, always good. Oh, look who it is. It's our religious leader. He's joined the live stream chat, y'all. But here again, my intellectual property my add-ons, my creator content, we have a conversation with the volume down, you wouldn't think he would really have a problem now, would you? Especially because Creative Commons, I mean, you have to actually create content. He's just screaming right now. Or not screaming because we have him turned down. I've been having much more fun talking with my friends about things that have a purpose greater than our egos. I mean, this man called me paranoid schizophrenic for actually being someone that's had a hard life, that was involved here in St. Louis with the Manhattan Project and the 1962 baby tooth survey. I've got strontium 90, they can prove it. It wasn't for the fluoride, Chanter. Kind of like 9/11. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you believed that it was a terror attack instead of a planned detonation. I'm sorry, but it wasn't my fault to raise you. I was raising my own kids. You're 43, I got a kid 33. And like I said, we should all be treating our sexuality sacred, especially if we're going to be spiritual or have a religious experience with love. In my opinion, this is my channel. All right. If anyone doesn't have any other questions, I think I'm going to hit the skids. Because I'll tell you what, Chanter, your friends have been hacking in my YouTube. Now, don't think the network doesn't already know. You cannot come into someone's video manager and reduce videos without getting busted. So, here again, friends, stand true. Don't take harassment from people and have compassion for them, as I do for Chanter. Because Jeremiah the Bullfrog, remember, Chanter, listen to me careful. Brown leather notebook. You are supposed to be writing down what you forgot. What you forgot was the many offenses you have brought against me. I started my YouTube channel within the same week as you did. Oh, look, slut. That's nice to see in a live stream. That makes you feel warm and fuzzy. But in the meantime, like I said, y'all have been working off a script that you didn't know that I have involvement in. You say I'm not worthy of people listening to me because I don't have as many viewers as you. But like you know, you can buy viewers. Just like Uni was talking about last night, your butt boy Unirock, right? So you see, I haven't bought not one view. Not one view. I've been shadow banned. I've been made irrelevant and told that you would bury me so deep I would never get up. And you want to talk to me on your terms. It's never going to happen. You'll talk to me on my terms. That's the way we'll do it. And remember, even if you think I'm the biggest hose bag going, you still have to have respect for women. You did. You said I was your booty call. Your chat encouraged it. Don't deny it. I have every bit of evidence. You cannot deny the truth. And the truth will set you free. So back to Jeremiah. I was here, by someone you trust. Good. Well, he's in the chat. Chanter's in the chat now. So when I said butt boy, I refer to a group that are in cahoots together. He has female butt boys too. I guess they're butt girls. But, butt. What about Dillcock there, Chanter? See, anything with cock, you guys now mock because I am Glascock. Oh, I'm not controlled by the Jewish elitist or the Archdiocese of the Catholic Church. I chose to be baptized at 12. I wrote my own letter that I said in front of a congregation. I am nobody's bitch. And I have more faith in my little finger than you have in your 250-pound body. No, it's not slur. It is not. So back to Jeremiah. He touched you, and he told you to write down in your brown leather notebook everything you had forgot. You need to remember that what you forgot is what you would call, let's see, plausible deniability in legal terms. That means don't ever admit what you guys did on behalf of my name behind closed doors in that Zoom room with, a dozen of you for 9 hours. You want to talk about why you're mad at Shane and Og? That's why. Because they didn't choose to take the same road y'all did. Shane and Og are my friends. I have talked to you like a normal person. Tag spirituality and politics where you first attacked me. I have. I've talked to you with more respect than you deserve. So, do what you will. And I know it's tough to be on a pain patch. And I know it's tough to have your little mental problems. And I know it's tough that you narked out your own dad for what he did, and then you want to turn around and build some psyop to blame somebody else for doxing your daddy and you. You better remember, you can make a video private, but the network still has it. It is not public for us. You are too, you and Z. You and Z were there. Yes, you were. And you begged me to come on your dopey show within a month of me leaving CCN. They didn't fire me. I walked out on them. I've still got the message on my answering machine where my computer gets hacked. Oh yeah, you deny it all. See, unfortunately, you don't remember what you say. You have a mental illness with that. Where me, I've got... I am very, very accurate. They say 98.5%, and I'm not the cruel one. I am a woman defending herself against a group of men that pretty much are women haters. Oh, I've known dudes like you, and I don't roll with women haters. I don't roll with alcoholics. I don't roll with people that abuse other humans. See, I choose. And oh, by the way, here again, your little church thing with the 22% of the house. Those are simple, small business practices. I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad. See, that's where you try to do your spell casting. I feel empowered. I feel like I take care of my own business. I feel like I don't let bullies pick on me. Even if some bully picked on you when you were little, okay? You're writing a book? Good for you, Trish. Very good. Right. And that's what we do, is we have to bring this stuff out, Chanter, because that's how we heal. And Trish in the chat just confirms spirit. If you just roll over, and kind of like what you've said before, Chanter, I'll use your own words, okay? Any guy that has more viewers than you, that you feel is wonderful. Let's say, oh, we'll just pick out Jimmy Church. You said you'd never go on his show. And then you spent an hour and 40 minutes waiting for him to pick up on your line. And you guys made fun of him the whole time. If you would have been on his show, in your mind, would have got on your knees to him. And you've talked about that in your shows. See, I don't need to go on any big shot show to feel like I'm doing any better work. When I came online September 1st, when they asked me to document my experience and to not follow other people around, that's what I've been doing. You, on the other hand, have been attacking me since the end of September 2016. Your coded messages have been dissected and assimilated. It doesn't take more than a ninth grader to break the code. And you don't need a college education to figure out someone's heart. Self-education is very valuable. And when you talk about reading a sentence, I've read volumes of books and have an extremely high retention rate. So don't ever belittle someone that did not have money to go to college and party and get laid. I was working, running a business when you were laying in vomit. You get it? I've raised 3 kids, ran a business for 30 years, dealt with the Ferguson riots and Mike Brown. I don't know if you know it, Chanter. The first 2 fires set November 24th, 2014, when they said Darrell Wilson was innocent, was the shop on Church Street, my hair Emporium. First fire was set 20 feet from it, bitch. And then the Little Caesars got set on fire, which is on the other side of my fence. And you know what they told me? Let it burn down. They tried to kick me out of my home. And I turned on a hose and started videotaping them. So now, maybe you understand a little bit more about a girl that has had to fight to stay alive for at least 50 years. I'm being 55 on Monday. And you guys want to tease me and act like I'm nobody. I hope you survive. Yes, big piece of the puzzle, exactly, Trish. And I'm on my Saturn return, too. How about that? So, like I said, I really, honest to God, hope, Chanter, that you are as healthy as I am when you turn 55. Smoking isn't what makes you unhealthy. Count your poisons, 2 out of 10. Your blood type is important, Chanter. You have time to turn around. You are probably an O blood type. Low happy hormones. Easy to get addicted to speed. Feeling familiar? I'm an A blood type. High adrenaline and cortisol. That's why I can run circles around you guys, and I don't need speed. Never wanted it. Had no reason for it. So we're all different. And your blood type. I've got one coming up. Oh, good for you. Oh, good, Trish. Oh, good, Trish. Thank you, Michael. Man, it's good to have friends. You know, the whole thing about the 50th year, I do want to say something specifically about that. 49 is considered to be the year of the priesthood. So you're given an initiation. Oh, that'd be beautiful on a beach. You're given an initiation. As long as you have burned out your dross, which would be the false ego. And don't anybody ever believe that ego is a bad thing. It's the false ego. It's the one that says, this is who I am and this is what I want you to do. See, that's cult leaders. They want to tell you what to do. Well, I've never wanted to tell anybody what to do, and I expect the same in return. I don't want anybody to order me around. Bingo. People don't know who they really are. Confirmation of spirit. And see this reveal. They're all seeing who they are through their dreams, their visions, their nightmares, their groups. And I'm sure it's terrifying for people that didn't work through their crisis years, which are 33 to 49. So here you go into your 50th year. And they say that the 50s are a renaissance and an expansion of your service that you gave to mankind in your earlier years. So whatever career it is that you love, it will be blessed and magnified. And I'll tell you what, my 50s have been online, and I've seen the hardest, and I've been blessed. So, it's a good time to be, I would say, older than someone like Chanter, who is smack dab in his crisis years. 43, one of the angel years, they say. So, it's tough. None of us appreciate being lied to by the infrastructure, and most of us are tired of a retarded robot running the government, running utilities, running phones, running businesses. I want to work. I want to contribute. And since we can't work here online until it's cleaned up, well, I have to speak out too. Exactly. I've felt the best I feel in my 50s also. Yes, and that's why age doesn't mean a thing. And here's the truth. And it's tough for people. They say, well, from the time you're born, you're dying. And it's like, okay, the rat race doesn't help anyone. No, it doesn't. Exactly. And it's hard to find the people on the street that need you, especially in a small town if they're all dirty. So that's a whole other problem. But the whole thing is, you don't start atrophying until you stop learning. So even though your physical body may quit growing at 15 or 16 if you're a girl, in early 20s if you're a guy, it's when your mind quits learning that you start aging. And that's why some people feel like they're over the hill at 30 or at 40. And I think it's sad. Because, like I said, hey, it's always nice to see people being kind to one another in a stream, too. Bless your hearts. But that's what we need to do, is we just keep needing to spread the kindness and calling out things that do not resonate with us. It's all we can do. And, look forward to a time where everybody has a skill and everybody starts running their own small business. And then you know what we do? We barter. Because the money isn't real anyhow. I know that's hard for a lawyer or a rich person or somebody entitled. It's tough. It really is. But that's the ways of the world. Give Caesar what's due to him. And he's done took everything, so now we're working on taking back. And whether it's a spiritual walk or a physical walk, we're doing it. I've been on both sides. Right. Exactly. Exactly. And I've never been wealthy. I've never been what they would consider to be beautiful. I have never been one of the people that are supposed to matter in this world. I didn't come from the right side of the train tracks. My parents didn't look the right way. You know, whatever it is. A lot of people mock my voice, and that's why they say I'm a man. I've given birth to 3 children. How in the world can somebody make a running joke on a woman that she's a man? It's pathetic. And my voice, even as a kid, was low. I had never smoked a cigarette. That's kind of like teasing somebody about a birthmark, or about the size of their ears, or the shape of their head. It's so childish. And some people actually like my voice. But in the meantime, you go for whatever dirt you can. Yes, it is. It's childish. Completely childish mentality. But here again, when you've got a lawyer doing it, and you ask what's wrong with our legal system, and why would I ever trust a lawyer to deal with my 30 plus years of paperwork that proves everything that has been taken from me illegally? It's a lawless world we live in. So I can't believe that this is the law. And I can't believe this is the guy that wants to go down in immortality is starting a religion. Blows my mind. Ah, yes. And see, he was forced to be an attorney because his younger brother wanted to be a doctor, and his dad said, one of you boys will work in the law firm, and you will inherit it. And his dad fibbed to him. You know, I guess his partners didn't like his ways. I don't know. I wasn't there. But, yeah, Chanter wants to quit the law business, so if he can make some money running a religion and claim a tax-exempt status, well, he's on his way. Large company takes over small company and starts screaming about all capital letters on the deeds, right? Oh, and Trish, get this one. All right, I live in a 120-year-old home. And the last people that lived here were Catholic. And the church here that runs everything in Ferguson, the Catholic Church, is who told me I would never live or work here. I used to just think it was about the hair shop and the TIF money. You know, small time, one-horse town, big politics, you know, big money. So anyhow, Chanter likes my voice, doesn't he now? But you don't like me. So I don't think you can say that. I'm gonna call leading the witness counselor. So anyhow, like I was saying, this whole thing about a church owning a home. Oh yeah, BTC, 'cause of me, believes that they own the home I live in because their parishioners left it to them. Ain't that a crock of shit? You know, my property taxes go up even though I live next to a foreclosed home, and we've got 3 homes sold on this street for under $5,000 on the courthouse steps. But oh no, my property's going up. And you know what they said to me? Well, why would we believe you that the home next door is foreclosed? And see, that's where it really gets sad. Nobody knows they can believe anymore. Nobody knows who's telling the truth. I mean, really? And the truth is, we know that Heart Math Institute and the medical technology that's 150 years ahead, they can read our hearts and our minds. They know my heart rate. They know all my vitals. It's real. And why shouldn't we know the truth? I want to know the truth. And that's all I've ever asked, is to know the truth. So, right. And it's tough being deceived. It really is. And I guess that maybe I dealt with it better than most because I was deceived in my own home as a child. I mean, but you can't blame the home because the home was a direct result of the mind control programs. I mean, my mom and dad were ground zero, so I can't blame a couple grown teenagers. I mean, just like most of our parents, they were grown teenagers having kids. And as long as you looked okay, that's all that mattered. I mean, that's our material world. And you know, being a hairdresser doesn't make you look much better because they say that we're shallow and we don't have deep thoughts or intelligence, and that's absolutely ridiculous. That's why I'm very, very good at life coaching with people or life charting. Yeah, join the service or be homeless. What a what a choice given to a beautiful human with all sorts of potential ahead of them. But you set them up for the kill. And you know, they call it a slow kill project, you see. Right, and trauma keeps people's minds enslaved. But I had so much trauma as a child that I spoke out on it even as a child. And I guess that's why my mom called me precocious, because she couldn't shut me up. And that's why it's tough for these scammers and people. Yeah, yeah. My parents, Trish, both passed in 2010. And my mom was 66 and my dad was 70. My dad passed a week before the city council here in Ferguson overwhelmingly approved me 6-1 that I was allowed to do business in their town. Well, sure, I brought a lot of value, and not one of my clients resided in this town. I brought 400 clients to eat, to get their hair done, to be involved in community market. I mean, all of it. But matter because I was on a list. And I dare say that the Glascocks were always on a list. And I dare say to you, Trish, that your parents were on a list. And I would say that all of our parents were on a list. Kind of like the Catholic Church. I found out the other day, they divide their parishioners into 3 categories. And then they follow them the rest of their lives. So, amazing to me. Because I didn't choose to be Lutheran until I was 12. What did I know? Ah, sure the military wanted your mom's body. Right. My mom ended out her days working at Emerson Electric's World Headquarters, which is right here at the Ferguson line. And do you know she was legally blind and she ran the copy center? Now you have to ask yourself, why would you let a legally blind woman run a copy center? Well, the answer should be obvious. She was loyal to them. They gave her a great job with benefits, and she couldn't see what she was printing for them. They were her handlers. And that's how easy it is. Amazing, isn't it? But to tease people about these programs are being targeted individuals. And then the same man that teases it here says he is a targeted individual. But I say he's self-sabotaging. And here again, if we're all actors on a stage, or we get a little piece of script on the internet, either we're honest as we act it out, or we're fake. And that's the best I can explain what's happened to all of us. And when I say I love you to somebody, I mean it. So, I love the brave people that are true of heart and have dealt with their traumas And no matter how much people give you trouble, you stand your ground. I think it's fantastic, and I appreciate it. Well, I'm glad you found me too, Trish. Please subscribe. There's 400 videos. It's a little overwhelming. I have a lot of different subjects, and I've made playlists. And one day when all this chaos is over, I promise, some team is going to come help me, because all I've ever needed was somebody to help me organize all this. And while they think they stole my intellectual property, I think somebody protected it. We'll see. I hope so. So for now, I'm going to get off the phone and say peace, love, and light. And please do subscribe to Sophia's Emporium or Suze Pratt, the Holistic Stylist, on YouTube. And we'll talk soon.